Tony Beasley always had aspirations of making it to the big leagues, but the path that ended up leading him there was a little different than he might have imagined. Prior to the 1988 season, Beasley, a Virginia native, had just finished 2 years of junior college ball when he began looking for his next opportunity. The likes of Kentucky and Clemson were offering scholarships, but so too was Liberty University. Beasley would have a decision to make.
My father decided that he was going to take me to Liberty first. There was just something different there. And one thing I did know, because my parents raised me in the church, it's not that I had somewhat fell away from what I knew, it's just that I realized where I was. And I think I said, I need something different in my life. And I said, you know what? I don't think I really need to visit other schools. I think this is where I need to be. I knew that there was something different about it. And so I decided to go to Liberty.
And that decision would alter the course of Tony Beasley's life.
It just changed me. I knew about God. I didn't know God for myself. And I didn't have a personal relationship with Christ. I hadn't really had quiet time and hadn't really got into the Word to renew my mind. I just hadn't. I was kind of one of those religious people, and I didn't want to be that way anymore. I wanted to form a relationship with Christ.
While growing in his spiritual walk, Beasley also saw growth in his on-field performance, so much so that the middle infielder was selected by the Orioles in the 1989 draft.
When you think about it, I've gotten drafted and I'm playing professional baseball. Okay, well, you think about a certain lifestyle and, certain financial benefits and things of that nature. Well, I'll tell you, none of that was a part of the equation. As far as the first few years of playing professional baseball, it's a grind just to survive.
Beasley would spend parts of 9 seasons toiling in the minors, reaching as high as AAA, but never quite realizing his goal of making it to the big leagues.
I didn't make excuses. I just said, I just wasn't good enough, and it just didn't happen, or this just wasn't what God wanted me to do.
But as that dream began to fade, another would take shape.
He had another plan. And I had no idea that would become by way of coaching.
Given the opportunity to move into a coaching role, Beasley gave it a shot and soon realized it was exactly where he was meant to be.
I fell in love with the teaching aspect, the impact of kids' lives. That's what really drove me. Felt like I could make a difference in people. And that was enough for me.
But just like a player working his way up through the minors, a coach has to put in his time as well.
I know I started down in Florida in the Gulf Coast League. Then I went up to Lynchburg 1 year, ended up managing in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And then I went to Hickory, North Carolina. And then I went to Altoona, Pennsylvania. 2006 was my first major league job with the Washington Nationals. 2008, 2009, 2010, I was a Major League third base coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then actually went back to Double-A and managed a year, and then managed 2 years in Syracuse. And here I am with the Texas Rangers this year.
It's been a road of ups and downs to get to this current position of third base coach for the Texas Rangers. And Beasley couldn't have made it without God and one other important person.
My wife. It's not how I've done it, it's how she's allowed me to do it. I always tell all the players, you have to have the right person beside you. Because if my wife couldn't accept this, I couldn't do it. Because one thing I'm never going to sacrifice my family for this. I'm sorry, that's not going to do it. I think this is because of my wife and her belief in me and my faith in God that's allowed us to do this for this long.
And along the way, the relationships Beasley has cultivated with the players has allowed him to make a difference in their lives.
He wants you to go out there and just be the best you can be every day. And he's a guy that he's always going to be there for us. He just wants, like I say, he just wants to see the best of me. And sometimes it's really hard on me, but like any good father, that's what you want, especially when he sees something special.
Every day he comes up to me and says hello and asks me how I'm doing. And when he asks me how I'm doing, he really genuinely means it. He's like, how are you? Like, what's going on? Are you good? It's been my experience in most cases, the other coaches are, you say hello and you say hi and how's it going, but but they don't always put out an effort to really get to know you individually and who you are and what you believe. And Bees has been that for me, and it means a lot, really. It means more than he probably realizes.
So what does the future look like for Tony Beasley? Might we see him as a big league manager one day? Perhaps, but for now, he's just doing what he's done for years, trusting God to lead him one step at a time.
2 Corinthians 5:7, for we walk by faith and not by sight. And that's how I do it. Is it my heart's desire to get an opportunity to manage at the major league level? Absolutely. But my faith is in God and knowing that ultimately where he wants me to be, I'm going to be. I believe that no man can stop his plan for your life if you're willing to live in relationship with him. And I truly believe that. Because when I look over my career, there's so many things that have happened that probably shouldn't have happened if you just lined it up. So I just walk by faith, and I know that God's able to do whatever he wants to do. And so I just trust him on that.